Welcome to the League of Nerds comic book segment number 128. I'm John Cooney here to talk to you about comics released the 2nd of July, 2014, beginning as usual with my first 5, meaning these are the first 5 books I intend to read this week, and I'll give you a little more depth on them, starting with at number 1, Rocket Raccoon number 1. All new in-continuity series. As Defenders of the Cosmos go, Rocket Raccoon has faced his fair share of galactic battles. He's been a hero to the weak, a champion of good, a protector of the innocent, a heartthrob to the many intergalactic female species, and now a raccoon on the run. I'm sorry, a formidable and expert guardian on the run. Rocket is not a raccoon, okay? Rocket's high-flying life of adventure and heroism may soon be a thing of the past when he becomes a wanted man, and the authorities are not the only ones on his tail. We definitely will be overusing that pun. Superstar creator Scotty Young brings his A-game as writer and artist on the series we've been waiting decades for. Because, let's be real, this is the only Guardian of the Galaxy you actually care about, am I right? Writer and artist Scotty Young says, quote, "Despite Rocket's attitude and antics, he has a heart under there. He has some things he may or may not want to need in his life. He's going to have to examine that. When you're believed to be the last of your kind left in the galaxy or all of the galaxies, that's something you carry with you. That plays a role in the way you operate. We'll see him explore that a little bit. But you know, right after that, he'll probably shoot some stuff." Close quote. At number 2, we've got Legendary Star-Lord number 1. From the pages of Guardians of the Galaxy, a brand new series from Sam Humphries and Paco Medina. In this exciting first issue, Peter Quill battles the Badoon, fights to save an orphanage, and still finds time for some flirting with Kitty Pryde. But it's all in a day's work for the Star-Lord. Series writer Sam Humphries describes Star-Lord, quote, "Star-Lord is a really fun character to write because he's very bold, he's very confident. The book is going to be Peter's adventures away from the Guardians. I like to call him the original outer space scoundrel. He actually predates Han Solo. He likes to fight, he likes to flirt, he flies by the seat of his pants." These are stories that take place on the fringes of the Marvel Universe where you see civilizations breaking apart, places in space where people fall through the cracks. Someone like Peter has the opportunity to prove what kind of hero he is. Close quote. At number 3, we have Miles Morales, The Ultimate Spider-Man number 3, Part 3 of Revival, the most shocking Spider-Man story of the year. Miles Morales comes face to face with the worst nightmare of the Ultimate Spider-Man legacy, Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin, the man who killed Peter Parker. Or did he? Series writer Brian Michael Bendis explained what it's like to write the Spider-Man of a new era. Quote, "You know, my job is very unique. I write Ultimate Spider-Man, which from the get-go was supposed to be starting from scratch, asking what would happen if Spider-Man started today and was not something that started in the 1960s. And the transition that was made was based on the fact that the concept of Spider-Man wasn't broken. The Spider-Man origin and its themes are pretty much perfect. So adaptations are much like a Shakespeare play. The trick isn't to fix it and say you know better than Shakespeare. It's to find the truth of it and keep the truth going for a new audience. The most cosmetic change we made, obviously, is a couple of years ago when we made the determination that if Spider-Man were created today, there's a very large percentage chance that, based on where he's living and who he is, that he would be a person of color. So we made the choice to send Peter Parker off with a heroic death and have a new young man take the mantle in the form of Miles Morales, who's half Hispanic and half African American. That gave a multicultural voice to Spider-Man that has always been there, but never fully championed in the books themselves." Close quote. Bendis went on to say, quote, "When you become the writer of Spider-Man, all of a sudden, every day, every week, every month, someone of color, all different races, comes up to you and tells you, 'Spider-Man was my favorite, and this is why.' And then I hear a version of this story. My friends, when I was a kid, wouldn't let me be Superman, wouldn't let me be Batman because of my skin color. But I could always be Spider-Man, and Spider-Man became my favorite. As a little kid, I didn't even understand why he was my favorite, but it was because anybody could be Spider-Man under that costume, because it was head to toe. That's not why we created Spider-Man, who's a person of color, but afterwards I was like, oh man, this was subconsciously why we did it." Close quote. At number 4, we've got all new X-Factor number 10. X-Factor brings big trouble to Serval Industries, heavily armed trouble. Gambit's indiscretion is found out. Nobody is happy. Series writer Peter David shared his thoughts about X-Factor's relationship with Serval Industries. Quote, "X-Factor is quite sure that they are prepared for any eventuality. Polaris has already shown that she and the team are ready to walk if they're in an impasse situation with Harrison Snow and Serval. And Snow knows it too. So it's very much in Serval's interest to keep the members of X-Force happy as much as possible, which is not to say that there might not be a falling out of some point, but that won't be happening anytime soon." Close quote. David also spoke about his team selection process. Quote, editor Jordan D. White presented me with a list of heroes who were available, and I assembled the team the same way I put together the previous one. I selected what I thought would be an interesting and potentially explosive cast. I was looking for personalities that I thought would both mesh and conflict. Close quote. At number 5, we've got Tech Jacket number 1, a new ongoing series from the creative team who brought you the hit Tech Jacket digital mini. Zach Thompson, community college dropout, lives with his parents. This is who protects us from what lies beyond our world. But he's also Tech Jacket, the self-styled galactic guardian of Earth. And when a big-ass spaceship enters Earth's orbit, Zach will face the greatest challenge of his life. Series writer Joe Keating expressed, quote, after the success of the miniseries, Skybound was excited to get more Tech Jacket out there, and with Carrie on board, I'm on board. Whether or not people read the past series, the digital miniseries, or none of it, they're in for what's going to be the biggest scale science fiction series I've worked on yet. Extremely excited to do so with Carrie, Robert Kirkman, and company, close quote. Series artist Carrie Randolph added, quote, this project is a dream come true for me. Working with Joe, Robert Kirkman, and the rest of the Skybound family has been a blast, and I'm sure fans will see how much fun we're having on the series. If you like action, adventure, and excitement, then you will love Tech Jacket, close quote. Rounding out the top 10 at number 6, we've got Guardians of the Galaxy, Galaxy's Most Wanted number 1, Rocket, Raccoon, and Groot, your favorite cosmic bounty hunters and soon-to-be world-famous movie stars, leap into action in an all-new adventure. Could it possibly happen? Is Groot attempting to arrest his best bud Rocket? Plus, reprinting Thor 3:14, featuring the Thunder God in cosmic combat with the mean green guardian known as Drax. At number 7, we have Iron Fist the Living Weapon number 4. When the Iron Fist opens his heart to someone, is it inevitable blood will follow? Are the wolves literally at the door? There's no place to hide. There's nowhere that is safe from the ghost of Danny Rand's past. At number 8, we've got Miracleman number 8. Miracleman versus Miracle Dog. Miracleman and Gargunza. The dreams have been intertwined since 1954. Tonight, one will realize his dream, and the other. Including stories originally presented in Miracleman 7 and 8, plus bonus material. At number 9, we've got Black Widow number 8. On a snowy night in Prague, Natasha must fight her way out of a disaster alongside the Winter Soldier. Meanwhile, Isaiah has business of his own in London, but a simple plan gets complicated. Nathan Edmondson and Phil Noto continue their uninterrupted run on one of the most acclaimed books of the year. And at number 10, we have Thief of Thieves number 22. The hit list continues as Conrad chooses sides in the cartel mob war and makes a dangerous new ally. For the best of the rest, from DC Comics, we've got Action Comics number 33. Superman finally succumbs to the Doomsday virus and transforms into Super Doom. Is anybody in the universe safe from his vast power and fury? How can Superman possibly find a cure for his condition when the monster of steel has completely taken over his mind? Next, we have Batman Eternal number 13. A demon from Jim Gordon's past comes to haunt him in Blackgate while the gang war threatens to rip Gotham City apart. Can Jason Bard keep the order without coming head-to-head with Batman himself? We've also got New 52 Future's End number 9. Can the masked Superman stop a rampage in Metropolis? Plus, Batman Beyond must figure out what to do after startling revelation threatens to change his entire mission. And we've got Superman Unchained number 7. It's a rampage in the Batcave. It's come to this: Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman against Wraith. Alone, they wouldn't have a chance, but they don't have much of one together either, and all the while Lex Luthor's machinations are clicking into place. From Marvel Comics, we've got Magneto number 6. Magneto is on a one-man mission to safeguard the future of mutant kind by any means necessary. So far, he's done so by eliminating human threats. But what happens when it's mutants who pose a threat to their own species? Will Magneto cross the line and raise his hand to one of his own kind? And if so, just how far will he go? Next, we have Moon Knight number 5. An abandoned hotel in New York contains a single abductee and upwards of 20 armed mob enforcers. Moon Knight is going to go inside and rescue the abductee alone. We've also got Original Sin number 5 of 8. Find out the secret history of the unseen. What is the original sin? And we've got Punisher number 8. New York Times bestselling author Kevin Maurer of No Easy Day joins Nathan Edmondson for the conclusion of their hard-hitting tale of jungle warfare. A wounded Frank Castle and a Special Forces medic hazard dangerous terrain and merciless mercenaries to make their escape. Crossbones and his crew won't stop until the Punisher is in their custody. It's a race for survival not to be missed as Frank's adventure south of the border comes to its blood-soaked end. From Boom Studios, we've got Robocop #1. A deadly and charismatic criminal, Killian, is released from jail. He went into the slammer before Robocop hit the streets. Now he wants to take out the biggest cop in the city. When OCP wants to take guns off the streets, Killian sees it as his opportunity to take on the former Alex Murphy. From Dynamite Entertainment, we've got Twilight Zone #6. Diana Clark has discovered she can see the future. There's a lot to be said for that power. A lot of ways you can make money, a lot of ways to protect yourself from harm. But when one of those visions involves a mushroom cloud rising over the city, Diana must choose between saving her own life and risking it all to save millions. From Image Comics, we've got Morning Glories #39, Leadership. And we've got Sidekick #7. Flyboy has learned the truth. His former partner and mentor, the Red Cow, faked his death, a discovery that has shattered Barry Chase all the way down to his soul. Allied now with Julia Moonglow, he seeks revenge on the man who he revered and deserted him. But before he can pursue vengeance, he has to get past a new hero in town, sent to reel him in from his recent dangerous behavior. How far will Flyboy go to get past this obstacle, and will he ever be the same afterward? Out in trades this week, we've got Robocop vs. the Terminator hardcover. Comics' greatest creators pit the supreme machine killer against the ultimate cybernetic cop in one of the most celebrated crossovers ever. When fate reveals that the technology that built Robocop will lead to the creation of Skynet, Alex Murphy must engage in time-twisting battle against both the murderous computer network and the human resistance fighters out to destroy him. Dark Horse is proud to collect, for the first time ever, Frank Miller and Walter Simonson's classic Robocop vs. the Terminator 1-4 in a newly restored hardcover edition. Next, we have Tech Jacket Volume 2 trade paperback. Get ready for the new Tech Jacket ongoing series with this brand new collection featuring the previously digital exclusive Tech Jacket digital miniseries. An intergalactic bounty hunter comes to Earth to claim the ultimate prize, Tech Jacket. Collects Tech Jacket 7 and 8 and Tech Jacket Digital 1-3. We've also got Absolute All-Star Batman and Robin the Boy Wonder hardcover, the smash hit Batman epic by modern master Frank Miller of Batman Year One and The Dark Knight Returns, and artists extraordinaire Jim Lee and Scott Williams of Batman and Superman, is now collected in DC's Absolute format, including issues 1-9. Lee and Miller joined forces to tell a new version of Dick Grayson's origin in a high-octane tale that unfolds with guest appearances by Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Black Canary, and more. Next, we have Powers, the Definitive Collection Volume 6 hardcover. When the Power who murdered Hitler is found dead, it's up to detectives Walker and Sunrise to dig into the secret history of the Power's past to find the killer. A past that includes the untold tale of Walker's life before he became one of the world's greatest superheroes. Then Walker and Sunrise must investigate the murder of a group of Powers who claim to be gods, and the result is disastrous. Find out what's going on in this cops and capes drama that has no rules, plus the return of Dina Pilgrim. Collects Volume 3, number 1-11. And we've got Uncanny X-Men Volume 2 Broken trade paperback. The all-new, all-revolutionary Uncanny X-Men have barely had time to find their footings as a team, and now they must face the evil Dormammu. Can magic match the Demon Lord sorcery? Is she even on the X-Men's side anymore? Discover the secrets that magic has been hiding since AVX. Then school is in session. The Uncanny X-Men have seen what can happen with no control over their powers. It cannot happen again. One mutant learns that once you leave the X-Men, the real world can be a punishing place. Another learns just what it means to be an X-Man, but what exactly are they being trained for? Plus Cyclops and Magneto finally have it out. And which other former ally has signed up with S.H.I.E.L.D. to keep tabs on the X-Men? Collecting Uncanny X-Men number 6-11. Okay, so that's just a few of my favorite books out this week. There's still plenty of others available, and I broke out all the Marvel titles this week in their own video, as well as a separate video for all of DC, and even a video with the top independent publishers. You can find them all on my YouTube channel at he'sgotissues.com. And we'll also have links up on the leagueofnerds.com, our Facebook page, so be sure to like us there too. And of course, you can follow everything I'm reading on Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, or Twitter. You can find links to everything in the About section at he'sgotissues.com. And a reminder that both He's Got Issues and the League of Nerds are proud members of the Comics Podcast Network. So until next week, I'm John Cooney, and I've got issues.